Personal reading alert, LotusFlower12 is the reading code here, and it's somewhere on the screen if you'd like to book your own personal reading. The email is in my bio. If it fits for one in the collective, it could fit for more on the tree branch, so please do not make this reading fit if it does not resonate. This is a general reading with the future included for LotusFlower12. All right, Spirit, help me channel the message for the greatest and highest good of LotusFlower12. Please and thank you. All right, Spirit, tell us. You've got the Page of Cups, the Six of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. So you did start out with a connection at one point. Made you travel a bit through the realms. It was not slow moving. It was actually a very quick relationship. This may have been very special to you. You may have seen this person as the only fish in the sea. You're the only fish I see. That's how you saw it. It was quick moving. It actually made you stay in place a little bit. Showed you some things. Showed you a thing or two about relationships, people, and life. Caused you to rest a little bit. You may have not even gotten to explore the world or do the things that you maybe wanted to or thought that you were going to do before this relationship came into your life. However, you were sitting in Empress energy. You definitely changed, you matured, you grew kind of responsible here. But there was some heartache. There were some betrayals. There was some deceit. 10-20 on the timer, and that's card 10. This was a commitment that you really wanted, but you had some traumas. You had some dramas here. And I think it was a little hidden away in like a notebook, these betrayals. You may have even journaled about it or thought about journaling, keeping track of what you had experienced, because this one, you lost yourself in the process. You lost resources. You felt like you were not the person that you were supposed to be, I guess. Supposed to be. What society said you were supposed to be. It may have been a different kind of relationship. May have been more friends than anything. The emotional side was gone. Maybe the love wasn't there. So you thought about this a lot. You had this great idea. Maybe leaving. Getting your own cups fulfilled emotionally. It's not that it shows that there was a ton wrong. Obviously, there were some betrayals, but emotionally, you needed more. You needed the love. You needed the passion. Passion that was not there was lacking. You felt out of place. You knew there was something more to relationships. This may have been an early on relationship where you didn't know any different, and you thought this is just what love is. However, you started kind of working on yourself through this process. Again, you matured a lot, 10-22 on the timer. You matured a lot, and you started planning all these things that you kind of had thought you were going to do before this relationship came into your life. You were building. 7. You were very protected during this time as well. Ooh, hold up, that flipped out. You were building yourself. You were working on you. You wanted a future. You wanted a very specific dream. You wanted it to come to life. And you have a distorted King of Cups here. It's almost like you received some clarity that caused some chaos for those around you. But here's the thing. That's okay. It didn't stop you. Though this person wasn't emotionally fulfilling you, wasn't emotionally regulated, you may have actually balanced this person out a lot. Man, you toughed through. 10-23 on the timer. You toughed through. You were a leader here. You were a leader. It's almost like you were leading them to figure out how relationships go, how love actually is. And Love Actually, the movie, may have been something you liked or you enjoyed watching at one point, or you wanted to watch. You knew that love starts with friendships as well. You wanted someone who could talk to you. You wanted someone who could be there as a confidant, someone you could trust, someone you could rely on. Tell your deepest, darkest secrets to, your deepest, darkest fears. Someone who was just as compassionate and loving as you, but though this distorted King of Cups started out in this regard, again, another person who was not generous with their love, their attention, their affection. You may have felt like you were undervalued in this relationship. Again, it's almost like you had to lead your partners to show you what they should be doing, how they should be treating people when they say that they love them. So though they weren't your emperor, they were a King of Wands, just kind of sitting there. They did the stuff, but they didn't have that emotional side. Emotionally, you felt like you were carrying the burdens of the relationship. Another 10. 10s may be very significant for you. Now, this person was financially responsible. They were able to stably provide that kind of home dynamic in a way. But they may have ruled with an iron fist at some points. May have had a lot to say, a lot of opinions. May have been a little domineering and controlling as well. But you had a big transformation. You had a big transformation during this time. Again, you were always building yourself. It didn't matter if they didn't pour the love into you that you were looking for. It didn't matter if you showed them the way and they didn't follow. You were always trying to go after your dreams and find the love that you sought. Maybe you even read passionate books at some point or watched passionate movies and TV shows, dreaming of that kind of love because you knew it existed, because you had it. So through all these transformations, through building yourself, through the hardships, through the trials, the tribulations of trying to get these people through blind faith to love you correctly, you had another choice to make, another big choice to make. It was to leave behind these people, to leave behind this home that you had built, this family dynamic, these friends, this environment, all of it. And actually, it was amazing that you did that. It was very good for your growth. It was hard. It was definitely hard. But it was great for your growth. And we have a King of Pentacles that shows up. This is another energy that at first it was a very beautiful, loving relationship. May have made you feel a little bit weak, but it didn't cause you too much chaos or confusion. 7:37 on the timer. But it didn't help you out either. It didn't help you with building those dreams and those goals and those projects. It was kind of one of those things where it was kind of slowly eating away at that light and that spark within you. It's almost like something sinister. Slowly but surely, lies, deceit started coming out. You started seeing this person and their masks and all the masks they wore for what they were. Now, you broke through some chains here, something that was binding you, maybe even this relationship, because again, they had a lot of masks here. They weren't who they said they were they? But you came out the High Priestess. 10:27 on the timer. You came out the High Priestess. Again, you're always rebuilding yourself. You have stamina, you have grit, you have strength. You know this about yourself too. And you do it with love, compassion. You emotionally started going through some waves, and you may have even considered this a new spiritual journey. 3s. Cause some towers. Again, these shadows you illuminate. You illuminated some shadows in this relationship. A lot of these devil energies, a lot of these illusions, it came out. It came out. It came out, and you took swift, quick action. You may have even been very strategic about this action that you took. And again, one of the best things you ever did, you probably even said, the only regret I had is that I didn't do it sooner. Didn't leave sooner. Because this person tried to destroy you. The emotions that you felt for them, the love that you had for them, they left you out in the cold. And they may have even came off like they didn't even care about all the damage and hurt that they had caused you. It's like they cloaked their feelings very well. If they had any at all, sometimes you wondered. Sometimes you wondered who they really were and if they had any feelings, had a heart at all. Because, gosh, when you looked at that situation, you saw everything at one point. Let's go to a part 2 and see what the future holds.